Unlimited money, unlimited space. What animals would you keep as a pet? Leave them down in the comments below. Today we're gonna discuss 10 animals I would keep if I had unlimited money and unlimited space. And who knows, maybe if this channel eventually evolves into something really big, you might even see all of these animals somewhere in the future. With unlimited money and unlimited space, the first animal I would like to add to this room is a turtle species, freshwater turtle from Northern Australia, New Guinea and Indonesia. I'm talking about the fly river turtle. Now this turtle is beautiful, it's fully aquatic, it has a super cute nose. They're also sometimes called a pig-nosed turtle. They are adorable, they are awesome, they are really hard to come by, and once you find them they're also really expensive. And as I'm saying this, I'm actually not really sure if I can keep one in the Netherlands. Okay, as far as I can see now, you are allowed to keep them in the Netherlands, but you need some paperwork. But I could be wrong. They are expensive, they are rare, they need a huge enclosure, 800 liters or more. It's not something that will happen within this room. I would need an entire new animal room before I could even keep one. But another animal that is also expensive and rare, but that I could keep in this room is the Shinisaurus, the Chinese crocodile lizard. Now these animals are really cool. This animal is found in southern China and northern Vietnam, and they are semi-aquatic and semi-arboreal. So they need a water feature and they need quite some height to climb as well, which makes it slightly hard to make a proper setup for them. But people like Reptiliadis do a really good job at caring for these animals. I saw another channel, I forgot the name, something like Terrarium channel or something like that. Also a Dutch YouTuber. He has also a pretty cool setup for the Shinisaurus. I would like to add my own name to that list. I have a big empty space just off camera here that would be perfect for either a really big aquarium or a big setup like something for the Shinisaurus. Either way, just look at these animals. They're dinosaurs. They are dinosaurs that are still alive, that live in the water and up in trees. Well, not tree tops, but like branches above the water. It's so cool. I think they would fit so nicely within this room. The skill set I have now for building these setups is really well suited for building a setup for these guys in particular. I would like to work with these. If you have some that you want to get rid of, contact me on Instagram at crunchyfern. But if I wouldn't turn this spot over here into a paludarium, but instead go for a big aquarium, I might put the next one on the list in this tank. Because something else I would really like to add to this room is some kind of really big pufferfish. Something like a Fahaka pufferfish would be really awesome. There's a bigger one, the Embu puffer, I believe it's called. It's the biggest puffer. I don't really like that puffer. But the Fahaka, ooh, that's a really cool one. It's big, it's unique. It's not that rare, I mean not as rare as a Shinisaurus or a fly river turtle, but still kind of rare. Not every pet store has it. They are big, they are bold, they eat whole clams. My brother actually used to own a big puffer. I'm not really sure what kind of puffer it is, but I think it might have been a Fahaka puffer. Either way, he was eating whole clams, and when he was biting down on those things, it almost sounded like he was chewing on the glass of the tank. It was a really loud, crunchy sound. Kind of scary, but also really cool. Having such a powerful animal in here. Now, one of the big downsides to this puffer, they don't really do tank mates. Pretty much everything you throw in there with them will get eaten by them. So that's a big downside. But I mean, I'm having a whole entire animal room. If there's one tank with only a single fish in there, hey, I'm fine with that. There are so many different tanks around me. If I want to look at something more than only the puffer, I can just look at another tank. Alright, next animal on the list. Also not that rare. You can find this animal at most reptile expos. I am talking about the biggest gecko in the world, the Leachianus Gecko. Not that hard to find, not that hard to care for, but they can get pretty expensive. Think upwards of €1,000 a piece. If you buy a baby, you can get it for, if you're lucky, a few €100, but But honestly, you're probably looking more towards the €1,000 gecko price range, which is unfortunately above my budget for now. Which is a shame, because I would really like to add a couple of them to this room, start a little breeding project, take you guys along for the ride. Would be awesome, would be really awesome. But that will probably just have to wait. Now circling back to a potential big aquarium I could place over on this side of the room. Something else I could stock it with is a group of red belly piranhas. Now I can already hear some people say, red belly piranhas don't make really good aquarium fish, they're shy, they hide all the time. You don't want them, they sound cool, but they are not that cool. I don't really agree. If you look at channels like Joey, the king of DIY, he has a really big piranha tank. It's scaped, it looks beautiful, his piranhas look beautiful, they look active. Sure, some of them are hiding in there. I think he has like 30 or something in there. You don't really see 30 all the time, but you see enough of them. They look really cool when he's feeding them. And it is piranhas. I mean, how cool would it be to have a group of piranhas? A garden center near where I live actually keeps a group of piranhas, and every time I'm over there, I'm looking at them. I believe they only keep like 3 or 4 of them in there. And to be fair, those guys are pretty shy. You can see them swimming around there, but not as much as Joey's fish. But then again, he has a bigger group and he has a fully planted tank, both of which I believe help with making them feel more secure. So if I were to get some, I will go for a really big tank, go with a nice big group, let's say 15, 20 minimum. Big group of piranhas. I think they would fit really nicely within the room that I'm creating. My vision for this room, it fits really, really well. But an animal that would maybe even fit better into this room would be a giant frog. I'm talking about the African bullfrog. This is one chunky, majestic animal. They have a really beautiful color, they have some really good size to them. The fact they have teeth kind of scares me out though. But boy, an African bullfrog would be super cool. Now these guys are not that hard to find. They're not that expensive. If I look around, they cost roughly €40, €50 sometimes. That's for a juvenile, by the way. An adult frog is like €100, but if I were to get one, I would get a juvenile. And honestly, there's not really that much stopping me from getting a bullfrog right now. It's just that I have some other projects that are already in the works, like the tanks that are going to be behind here, one tank that's going to be just out of frame over here, a tank that's going to be here, and then some rescapes of this. So there's quite a lot of projects I have in the works. And once I'm done with all of those, I might get the bullfrog. Who knows? Stick around, subscribe, and maybe you'll find out. What you also might find out is, now you are gonna find out. The next animal is a matter of time. It's not a matter of space. It's not a matter of unlimited money. They are not that rare, not that expensive. They are on my radar for so long now. I just need to get a big aquarium. I said it a couple times already. An imaginary big aquarium I could place over here. But if I were to put a big aquarium over there, the most likely fish I would put in there is the Geophagus Tapajos redhead. Now I've been in the aquarium hobby for quite a few years already. I got my first goldfish when I was 10 or 11, and then slowly progressed to guppies, angels, German blue rams, betta fish, the whole deal. Then I've been out of the hobby for a few years and then I went back into the hobby. That's a different video that will be uploaded somewhere this month. Bottom line, I have quite a few years within the hobby. And throughout that time there were just a few fish that could really grab my attention. Now obviously I love a ton of different fish. I love my rope fish. I love my electric blue acara, I love my rainbow fish, I love my guppies, and I love a lot more fish. But every now and then you come across a video or a picture of a certain kind of fish and I just go, wow, this one is really beautiful. And that is exactly what happened roughly a year ago. I think it was over on Instagram. I was scrolling and I came across a video of, I believe it was TMK Aquarist, and he had this beautiful aquarium with discus in there, German blue rams in there, which by the way are one of my all-time favorite fish. But then there was another fish in there that I thought looked really, really beautiful, but I haven't seen before. Turns out it was a Geophagus Tapajos redhead. Now, immediately I went into a spiral researching this entire family of fish, the Geophagus. The Tapajos is one of the smaller ones in this family, and in my opinion, one of the more beautiful ones, with the beautiful red head, the blue body, the really long trailers on the fins. Mwah! Oh, what a beautiful fish. But the downside, even though they are the smallest Geophagus or one of the smallest Geophagus, they still get pretty big. And they are a social fish, so you should get at least 4, 5, 6 of them. Which makes the tank size quickly go up to at least 350 liters, which is not something I already own. The biggest I have right now is probably this one back there, which is 136 liters. Realistically, it's never gonna be full all the way up, so it's probably gonna end up at 120, 125 liters when it's filled up, which is the same as this tank. This one is 110. I would have to combine all 3 of those tanks to get a tank the exact size I need for this fish species. Yeah, so that's the big problem. I need a really big tank, and I've been thinking about getting a really big aquarium for quite some time now. But same story as with the bullfrog, I have too many projects already going that things like this just go to the bottom of the list. I'll look at that later. I have too many other really cool projects that I'm already working on. But believe me, it's just a matter of time before I get a group of Geophagus. Just as it is just a matter of time until I build a giant spotted turtle enclosure. Get about 5 to 10 more spotted turtles, have like a really big group of them in there. For now I have one spotted turtle, she's right over there. Her name is Koa. If you're a regular on this channel, you've seen her plenty of times. I love my spotted turtle. I think they make a really fantastic pet. And if you are looking into getting a pet turtle and they are legal where you live, give them a try. They are beautiful, they are captivating, they are an awesome pet to own. And honestly, kind of addicting, because now that I have one, I want to get a whole lot of them. And eventually have a little bit of breeding going on in that tank. That would be so cool, and it would make for fantastic content. And it is just a matter of time before we get there. I'm sure eventually in a couple of years I will get more spotted turtles. Now circling back to the big mystical tank over on this side one more time. Something else that I would really like. No, it wouldn't fit over there. Eventually, if I will get to another house, make another animal room, I want it to be on the first floor, and I want it to be really big. And I want to include a really big aquarium. Kind of like the King of DIY's 2000 gallon, which I believe translates to roughly 8,000 liter aquarium. This thing is huge. What I would really like to do is get a really big group of a schooling fish in there. I'm talking about 800, 900, 1,000 Harlequin Rosbora. Or 1,000 neon tetra, or 1,000 cherry barbs. Imagine for a second, big tank like that with a really big group of a schooling fish. I mean, that would be beautiful. And then you could pair it with the Geophagus from before, because they are relatively peaceful. I'm not really sure if they go that well with smaller fish, but let's just imagine for a second they do have like 20 Geophagus in there and 800 Harlequin Rosbora, have a few big plecos in there. Maybe up top you could even go with another 200 hatchet fish. I mean, that would be a dream tank. You could even put angels or discus in there as well. Yeah, that would look so good. And the final animal on this list that I would really like to work with if I had a lot more money and a lot more space, you could say infinite of both. The Argentine black and white Tegu. It's just one giant lizard. It's as close to a dog in reptile form as you can get. These guys are personable, they will recognize you, they will bond with you. I do see them at reptile expos every now and then, and they... Beautiful animal. Yeah, I would like to get them, but they would need such a big enclosure. On my list here it says 8 feet by 4 feet by 4 feet, but I have no idea what those measurements mean. I'm not American. I believe 1 feet is like 30 centimeters. Yeah, that's about right. Whoa. So that means you need about 2.5 meters in width, 1 meter and 20 centimeters in depth, 1 meter and 20 centimeters in height. In other words, this tank back there, the longest side of this tank is slightly bigger than the shortest side of the tank you need for a Tegu. And then you need this as depth, as height, and then twice this side as length at the bare minimum. And I don't like to go for the bare minimum with animals. So that will be a giant enclosure. Yeah, that stuff is difficult for very obvious reasons. But you have to agree with me, they look awesome. They are kind of like a dinosaur puppy. Who wouldn't want that? If you're into reptiles, who wouldn't want a Tegu? Look at that, somebody comes to say hello. There she is, hello. Look really beautiful tonight. Oh yes, you can see her stripes tonight. That's beautiful. I'm not really sure what it is with Tito, but her pattern seems to change from a few different varieties. I know they can fire up and fire down, but within there are like 3 different patterns she can have. Sometimes she's completely pale, sometimes she has a really dark back but really light sides, sometimes she's really dark all over, sometimes she goes for this stripe pattern she has right now, then she has her Dalmatian spots which aren't as visible all the time, and then the color she has seems to change as well. Sometimes it's more of a brown color, sometimes it's more of a orange towards yellowish color even sometimes. And then to think that she's just a basic color morph. Imagine if we would get a lily white or something in here, or a oh, that scared me, man. Luckily she didn't drop her tail out of my scare. Ugh. Well, let's put her back. And with that, this video comes to an end. Let me know in the comments which one of these animals you would most like to see on this channel. But now I'm wondering, if you had unlimited money and unlimited space, what animals would you like to get? Let me know down in the comments, and while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow in another video. Thanks for watching.